What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Full 90. It is finally time for the Week 21 Premier League predictions. There's a lot of fixtures really close together, so I'm actually uploading this video before the Tottenham and Liverpool game, which is happening tonight, so that's going to be a very exciting one. I want to give a massive shout out to Bilisanmi Ayula. I hope I pronounced your name somewhat correctly. They left their predictions on the previous video and got some really good calls. They actually predicted Sheffield United not to lose to Man United and there to be over 2.5 goals. They didn't quite predict Sheffield United to win, but I don't think anyone predicted that upset. It was absolutely unreal. They got some really good picks in there from the West Ham win, the Newcastle Leeds over 2.5 goals prediction. I obviously got that one 2-1 correct, bang on, which is awesome. They got the Arsenal away win, which as an Arsenal fan, I wasn't brave enough to predict. So if you want to get your comment featured on the next episode of the Premier League predictions, then please do leave yours down in the comments below. I will also want to give another massive shout out to the guys over at OneFootball for sponsoring this video. Now, if you don't know what they are, it is a free app available on iOS and Android, and it's got everything that you could possibly want when it comes to football, live injury updates, transfer news, live scores, anything that you could possibly want when it comes to football. To stay informed, OneFootball has got it covered with a very clean and easy to use interface, and of course it is free if you just use the link in the description, and it does help support the channel. So massive thank you to OneFootball for sponsoring this video. Now, if you look back quickly at my Week 20 predictions, it was really a game of two halves. Like every football game, it was a fantastic first half from me and then a pretty poor second half from me. The first day of fixtures, all my tips came in and we had the correct prediction on the 2-1 Leeds game, and then the day after that, none of my predictions were really correct. I got the Brighton Fulham draw. I got both teams to score in the Everton Leicester game, but that was pretty much it. There really wasn't much else happening there. So I did get one correct score prediction, but hopefully we can do better this week. Kicking off, we have Everton up against Newcastle. Everton are in very decent form. They're pushing for those top four spots. Newcastle are in dreadful form. They cannot find a point anywhere. I don't think they've picked up any wins in their last 6 matches. They're looking pretty woeful. So I'm going to go for a 2-0 win to Everton. I'll keep the tip simple. Everton to win at 1.5. That's a nice little return, you know. Chuck a tenner on that, you get 15 quid back, go buy yourself a meal deal. You know what I mean? Something like that. Next up, it is Crystal Palace up against Wolves. Now, Wolves have actually won the previous 3 meetings between these two sides, but they were all at Molineux, and the last time they met at Selhurst Park, it ended in a 1-1 draw. And before looking at those statistics, my head was suggesting a low-scoring draw because Wolves really haven't been out the races lately. Crystal Palace managed to score 2 against a pretty informed West Ham, albeit conceding 3. So I'm going to go for another 1-1 draw, but my tip is going to be a combination of markets that I've not combined in this way before. Both teams to score and under 3.5 goals at 3.2. So that means it has to be either 1-1 or 2-1 to either side. Now, this could easily end 1-0 to one of them. That's why the value is 3.2. But I think for value of that good, both teams scoring under 3.5. It allows for a 1-1 or a late 2-1 winner to either side, so I figured that might be worth a little shout. Next up, it is Manchester City up against Sheffield United. Man City absolutely crushing it. I've never been so confident tipping Man City to get clean sheets, or tipping any team to get clean sheets as I have been with Man City lately. The last 2 times I've tipped Man City to win to 0 at good value, and they have done. This time I'm going to say Man City beat Sheffield United 3-0, so not quite as many goals as against West Brom, because I think Sheffield United, they've just come off of a massive win and their defence is slightly better, I guess you could say, than West Brom. That is really what they were hailed for last season. So I'm going to go for the 3-0, and my tip is going to be Manchester City to win to 0 and -1 handicap, so to win by 2 or more goals at 1.9. Now, next up, it is West Brom versus Fulham. It is a crunch clash at the bottom of the table. This is a very important game, and I do think that Fulham have to be the favourites to win this game. I think it's going to be a close one, but I'm actually going to go for an away win to Fulham. West Brom, they get all kinds of weird results. They beat Wolves, which was absolutely fantastic, so this one could go either way, but I'm going to give the edge to Fulham in a 2-1 away win, and my tip is going to be Fulham double chance and both teams to score at 2.3, allowing for that 1-1 and allowing for, you know, an even bigger Fulham victory if it does, you know, if it does come to that. Now, next up, game of the week, in my opinion. I'm an Arsenal fan, of course it is. It's Arsenal up against Manchester United, and I am struggling all of a sudden to predict this game. Man United have been on an unstoppable run of form until they come up against bottom of the league Sheffield United and go behind on 2 separate occasions. So this is going to be a very interesting game. Arsenal picked up a fantastic win away at Southampton, are now in the top half of the table, which is pretty good considering the start that we've had up until this point. So I cannot separate the two teams. If Man United turn up and play the way they've been playing, apart from that game against Sheffield United, I would say 2-1 to Manchester United. And that's not my Arsenal bias coming out and predicting my team to lose in hopes that we win, etc. Man United have a better squad than Arsenal, so they should have enough to win. But Arsenal's a bit of a bogey team for Man United at times. You know, Arsenal have won a few recent meetings between the two. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. I'm not entirely sure if Arsenal will be at full strength. I know there's a couple of injuries flying around. So my tip is going to be both teams to score and over 2 cards in the game. So 3 or more cards, yellow, red, doesn't matter what colour they are, at 2.08. I've never done a card market in these videos, but I thought it could be quite tightly contested. If there's an early yellow card, I mean, if Granit Xhaka's on the pitch, there's a chance that there's going to be an early yellow card in the first half, and that could easily lead to 2 more cards in the second half. So that is going to be my tip there. Next up, it is Southampton up against Aston Villa. Southampton conceding 3 and losing to Arsenal. Aston Villa conceding 3 and losing to Burnley. So both teams have a point to prove. Their defence a little bit weak in the previous game week, but they are 2 very attacking sides. So I'm going to go for a high-scoring 2-2 draw, and my tip is going to be simply over 2.5 goals at 1.66. In case one of them has a great day, keeps a clean sheet, but wins like 3 or 4-0. Now next up, it is Chelsea up against Burnley. Thomas Tuchel comes into his second game as Chelsea manager, having not yet conceded as Chelsea manager. So he'll be happy with that, but they weren't able to score against Wolves. They were pretty dominant in the stats, but couldn't get over the line. I think this one will be a similar sort of game, but I can see Chelsea taking this at the end. Maybe 1-0 halftime, 2-0 full time, something like that. So I'm going to go for a 2-0 win to Chelsea. And because of the value, like a Chelsea win is only 1.36, which is not great. But Chelsea to win at -1 handicap, because Burnley have been playing quite well lately, and games are typically quite low scoring. I think it's worth a shout to say Chelsea -1 handicap at 2.0. So all they've got to do is win 2-0, 3-1 or something like that, which they have done the last few times they played Burnley, for that tip to come in, giving Thomas Tuchel his first 3 points as a Chelsea manager. Now, next up, it is Leicester up against Leeds. Leeds getting the 2-1 away win against Newcastle, and Leicester, they managed to claw it back after going behind to Everton at Goodison Park, which is not a place to go, so it's not the worst point in the world for Leicester. I think they're going to go to the King Power Stadium and take advantage of this Leeds defence and win this game convincingly enough. I'm going to go for a 3-1 win to Leicester. I think Leeds do have a goal in them, and even if they don't, I think Leicester have at least 2 goals in them. So my tip is going to be Leicester win and over 1.5 goals at 2.15. I cannot argue with that value. Now, next up, it is in form West Ham up against Liverpool. West Ham currently above Liverpool in the table. This is a very difficult one to predict. The odds for Liverpool to win, 1.83. That's very good. The odds are very good. I was tempted to say Liverpool to win. I was also tempted to say Liverpool win and both teams to score. But I'm going to first of all say that Liverpool will get the win because they are due a win. I don't know the result of, obviously, the Tottenham and Liverpool game that's happening tonight. But I'm going to go for a 2-1 away win to Liverpool. But I think West Ham will score. So my tip is going to be Liverpool double chance and both teams to score at 2.05. So it could be 1-1. I don't see Liverpool losing again. Surely not. I mean, if there's any team to do it, I could see West Ham, maybe even West Ham double chance and both teams to score, but that would totally go against my score prediction. But it wouldn't surprise me if we saw that. Now, next up, final fixture of the week, Brighton up against Tottenham. Brighton getting a 0-0 draw with Fulham. Tottenham, I don't know their result against Liverpool, so we'll just have to ignore that. I'm not sure if there's some kind of glaring injury crisis that I haven't spotted, or if the bookies know something that I don't, but the odds of a Tottenham win are 2.15. So I'm going to go for a low-scoring 1-0 away win to Tottenham, and my tip is going to be simply Tottenham to take the win at 2.15. Now, I know this season, this has been the kind of fixture where they do get 1-0 up against a team that's maybe not a team that you wouldn't expect them to struggle against, and then they don't capitalise, get the second goal to make it a comfortable lead, and concede an equaliser in the last 20 or so minutes, and then can't get over the line and it ends 1-1. So I can understand in a way, in that sense, why the Tottenham win odds are quite high, but I don't think it's high enough to warrant it being 2.15. That value is ridiculous to me. So that is going to be my prediction for the Brighton and Tottenham game. So that is going to do it for my predictions for week 21. If you did enjoy it, please do just drop a like and subscribe down below to the channel, because it is free, and let's try and hit 20,000 subscribers in the year 2021. That would be ideal. And yeah, leave your comments down below for a chance to be featured in the next episode, and I will see you in the next one very soon.